Now all I hear is about how you and your clan are making a difference.
Yeah.
Oh my
But that's
God.
the best part. You leave
Shut
and she goes,
up, Hawthorne.
bye. Bye. Yeah, Billy Goat. Blah.
Blah. wait. Blah.
I spelled it out. It's B-L-A-H-T. And it's perfect.
Blah.
Blah.
It's fun talking guns. Matter of fact, it's a blast when you're hanging out with the Pizza Party Destiny Podcast.
Bro, we were using a MacBook mic from across the room.
Yeah, straight up.
Literally, anything's going to sound better.
Hello, fellow Guardians. We're back with another episode of the Pizza Party's Destiny Podcast.
What are we doing today, Light?
We're going to do TWAB's honorable mentions, pros and cons of the new season of The Worthy. And then I think we're going to end on a little tips and tricks for the viewers. We'll help them out with some of the newer content.
Stuff to know going into this season.
Exactly.
I can dig it. Before we get into the TWAB, I just want to quickly say that the Reddit was on fire over the last few days. Mm-hmm. And DMG and Cosmo both did a spectacular job
hitting it out of the park,
fielding everybody's frustrations and concerns. I know those guys don't make all of the decisions in development and stuff, so I just think they're real troopers being able to like handle all the downvotes, you know, because they're just the messengers and they do their best. I think they do a really good job.
They're the front line. Sure.
And then for clarity, DMG tweeted what's included a lot in this TWAB, which is that they're aware of the majority of the feedback that's being received in regards to the weapon rolls and the tracker issue. We're going to get into the tracker. They know what's going on and they're working to make things better. So that's good. I'm glad that they're at least being vocal about it. Yeah, totally. And now, I'd be afraid. I wouldn't say anything. I would curl up in a ball.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The front line of just straight frustration.
Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh. And they're just pointing at Bungie, but they're just like, hold on. We hear you. We promise we hear you.
We're listening.
We're listening. Okay. So first off in the TWAB, honorable mentions. Let's just get down to it. Trackers. Sad trackers. They rip the memories straight from all our Guardians for the past 2 to 3 years. Like, it hurt a lot of people. It hit a lot of people real hard.
It hurt me. You heard me on Tuesday when we signed in.
Yes.
So my experience signing in was immediately seeing that the 10 solo flawless clears that I had just in the previous season were no longer on my emblem.
Weeks before, you were just grinding them out.
Well, and I was very much like, oh, okay, well, I'll just go in and like reapply that stat, and then I realized like, oh, all the stats that used to be tracked are no longer available. It wasn't just me; a lot of people had the same sentiment. There's a lot of very unique stats that get tracked through that thing, and
flex.
I do find it to be a little. The word reckless might be an overstatement, but I think it was a little reckless to make this change without talking to anybody first, without making it clear what the intentions were with the change and what they wanted to do with it. Because I do think this new system is better, where you can apply all these different kinds of stats.
It makes it look better too.
I just think like out of the blue, your favorite accomplishment is no longer visible in game. That was a huge shock to a lot of people's systems. So, and again, they immediately addressed it online, through Twitter, on Reddit, and now they've done it in the TWAB. They had a list of trackers that they're looking to bring back.
They know. That's one of their big things. They hear us. We hear you. We're not silent.
We're listening.
I
tip of the cap to Bungie for that, so good work, guys.
Yeah, and like, it looks way better. Like, think of an emblem that you really, really like, but maybe it doesn't display something, or it displays something that you're not really all that proud of, but it's a really cool looking emblem.
There's a lot of great emblems out there.
And
I think this helps.
On something that like, oh, well, this is my favorite thing. This is my favorite tracker. I'm going to put on all my emblems. Or I'm going into Crucible. I'm going to put on my KD, or put on how many guys I've killed.
It's a flex. That's the point of it. Is like, hey, look at how good I am. You're just trying to make yourself look cool or accomplished. But yeah. So.
That's the double take. That's always the best thing. People are like, wait, holy crap!
Yeah, man. The flawless completions that I got came from like, hey, everybody I see has one. Mm-hmm. They want that emblem, so they do one completion. And I was like, oh, I'll do 1 and 2, and then I kind of got addicted to it. And I was like, oh, maybe I could get into double digits. Yeah, exactly.
We're like, what are you doing? I'm in the pit.
Yeah, I'm just spending my life in the pit.
I really like these guns. I'm gonna kill this guy again.
So, moving on, bugs related to the release that have been noted by Bungie and by fans.
The new exotic chess piece for the Hunter, Raiju's Harness. It makes it so when you're in the middle tree arc, you can spin your staff to block incoming damage. When you're spinning it, it makes your super go down slower. And then you can turn it off, kind of like
Chaos Reach
and you can keep a little bit of super.
It was allowing for people to infinitely
just keep on doing it once it gets to the end.
I don't know how it worked. Bungie did, and they were like, we're done.
I think it's kind of like last season when they were throwing the swords over and over. As long as you just kept holding it, the super would end, and you would just keep going. That was another thing with Arc. You could just keep dodging.
Similarly, and this was brought up in the same post, that completely separate from the exotic, which is very strange. If you use your Arc Strider super and you are, let's say, immediately killed, you will spawn with whatever super energy you had. So the clip was somebody using it, going down about 10% and dying, and then spawning with 90% supercharge, which is crazy.
Yeah, I was kind of...
So, and I don't know how many people know about that. Fortunately, this is Monday, so they will likely address it soon. But right now, going into the weekend...
We said it. It's the Wild Wild West there, baby.
Wild West, yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
We don't know what's going to happen.
There's going to be some stories.
While we're on the topic of bugs, the Fighting Lion... It was teased that it was getting somewhat of a buff. I think the rate of fire...
This is for you, Camel.
God.
He loves it.
We got a buddy who just
Fighting Ryan
won't put it down. With that said, though, the Fighting Lion has been determined to be like the blast radius and damage has been cut in half. They're aware, and they've made comments that they're gonna figure out what's going on and fix it. But just so you know, right now, Fighting Lion is not the option.
Fighting Lion, haven't seen you in a while. Here's the nerf.
Yeah, just for the record, Camel. Put the gun down for at least until they update it. Because
now I think is when we should actually try to kill Callus with it. Because if we can do that,
isn't something
you can do anything.
Not something I'm going to do.
We're gonna do it. I swear to you, Gambit is a... I don't even know how to explain it. It will kick people, it'll boot people, it'll freeze people. All of a sudden, you'll be game over.
Somehow associated with characters leveling up.
Leveling up
in game. I don't know how this could possibly have happened.
When people level up, it just can cause a person, it can cause a team.
People just get booted, your game will freeze. I experienced my own game freeze.
Oh, yeah.
And then I also experienced the entire opposite team being booted mid-match.
Yeah, and then it's game over and you won. Yay, look at that.
Yeah, we're... Gambit is a lawless wasteland right now, so do it if you want to. It could absolutely crash your game on all platforms. It seems like you experienced something pretty ridiculous.
The game starts. We go to our first side to get collect some motes. I grab 5. I run back just because I'm trying to get some bounties done. I slam it in, and the game ends. We won. I got a triumph for winning a game where you only put small blockers in. This is wonderful.
Because you said one small blocker, and then the other team got booted out. So anyway, Gambit is broken, and they are aware of it.
They're aware of all of this nonsense. Yeah. They added reserves to their chest piece. Large arms reserves and rifle reserves, which is insane and amazing and great like all the other parts. But rifle reserves doesn't work right now.
Awkwardly. It was a nice surprise to see, hey, we've added, I believe it's small arms reserves, large arms reserves, and rifle reserves as a general use ammo reserve mods.
Costs a little more, covers more things.
Exactly. So in the past where it was like, oh, I'm using a void piece and I need a shotgun for whatever reason. I don't want to swap out all my armor. Mm-hmm. I just don't get that reserve. So now you have that ability, but it appears that rifle reserves is not functioning properly in the game. It doesn't appear to be helping. I'm sure they'll fix it soon.
I'm pretty sure they know about it.
Yeah.
Pretty sure they know about everything.
So, but again, nice surprise. I was really happy to see that added. My favorite Warlock Exotic is the Phoenix Protocol chess piece, and obviously this season I can now swap the element, which is great. But for the longest time, all I was doing was clamoring about, please bring general use reserve perks to the game, because that's the only slot that's not covered. We've got ammo finders, we've got scavengers, but reserves were not general use. So that's a big change, and I love it.
When we pick a loadout, we like to make sure our armor has everything min-maxed out. You know what I mean? When you have something in your chest piece, you're like, well, I can't use any reserves because I'm not using any of those weapons. Now you can. Like, that's great.
Absolutely.
That's
you can at least feel like you can...
Every slot's being taken care of at
least.
least. Nothing's just
You're
sitting
not wasting
there
mods
wasting
or extra slots on the mod.
Exactly. Last on TWAB, Trials. So that's actually happened... And we'll have stories next week of what really happened.
Yeah. We'll explain our experiences with it. Right now, we're recording this the night before Trials comes out. So tomorrow, we'll see what happens with Arc Strider saving its own super, and the artifact level is currently enabled. And hard light, just lasers everywhere.
Oh, it's so good. Use it. It'll probably get nerfed.
Actually, any 600 auto rifle right now is... really good. I used Ether Doctor, Gnawing Hunger. I didn't get a chance to use Hard Light yet. I want to. Suros Regime. Oh my goodness. Great.
Spinning up.
Great
Don't
stuff.
use the slow one. Use the spinning up.
Yeah, it's the 600 RPM autos that got the major buff this season, and they are noticeably stronger. So get into Trials with a 600 RPM auto rifle and go to town. Yeah, it's pretty fun. You hit inside of like hand cannon range, and like they're not ready for the flinch. They're not ready to be shot in the face that many times. So it's pretty darn sweet, if I do say so myself.
Especially I've been using Hard Light, doing all my Crucible stuff, and when that snow damage fall off, and it's how sticky it is and how stable it is with the catalyst, holy moly.
And part of why it's good is because it's not just good headshot time to kill, it's decent body shot time to kill, which means that at farther ranges, when you're shooting someone with hard light and you're still hitting those maximum numbers for the body shot, you can drop somebody further than you'd expect, faster than you'd expect.
Yeah.
So all we're saying, grab hard light and go into Trials. Have some fun with it.
For sure.
It should be a good time.
Just basic stuff. I think they told everybody about what Trials is. If you haven't seen it, it's a 3v3 elimination.
Yep,
so once your team's dead, the other team won the round. First, is it to 5?
I think it's to 5. That would be my guess.
And another thing for Trials, when you're resetting your card, you can go to the actual big node that we created from donating that fractal line that we technically didn't donate because it's gone now.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, you click on that, you can reset your card, and a big one is if you're going to go into Trials and you're going to earn some of those tokens, the NPC for that is Saint 14.
Trials of Saint 14.
Just kidding. I joke.
Got it.
But make sure before the Tuesday reset, you turn in your tokens because you will lose those tokens.
Yeah, it appears that you earn them each week. I'm assuming he's going to have bounties for you to either earn weapons or tokens or something. It does look like you turn something into him to some degree in order to receive rewards.
Yeah, it looks just like a regular...
like a vendor you'd find at the tower. So we don't know how that's all going to work out. Again, you're going to get this on Monday, so we're just as in the dark right now as you. They did confirm that those tokens can be used to purchase certain things that can apply to your Trials journey. So I know it's supposed to be 7 wins, no losses, or if you get to 3 losses, it will end your card, right? You can no longer use that card. With that being said, back in the past, at least during D1 Trials, if you got to 3 wins with no losses, you were awarded an armor piece. And if you got to 5 wins with no losses, you were awarded a random gun. This I don't know if this is going to follow the exact same thing. I imagine they will have systems in place for all players of Trials to get your hands on some of those new random rolls. There is a 600 RPM auto rifle in the Trials loot pool that has an absolutely incredible PvP roll. It rolls barrels. It rolls rangefinder Zen moment, which again
that covers all your bases.
Console boys.
Yes, we need it.
Zen moment is butter. It absolutely turns any auto rifle, SMG, pulse rifle into the PC equivalent. Because apparently you guys don't have stability issues on anything. So but we do.
Yeah.
And so anyway, this 600 RPM auto rifle is coming out. And so what I'm suggesting is that you'll be able to buy these boons to give you a better shot in trials. I think one of them is loss prevention. So you can lose one game and it will just take your boon. I don't think you can keep buying that, obviously, but I think you can get at least to protect yourself from one loss.
Win a few
trying
games,
to go
you get
flawless.
an extra game, win, different stuff like that.
You know, and weird stuff happens, like you get DDoSed by some chump.
Shout out Camel.
Oh my goodness. Okay, just quick aside. We were once on our flawless game.
D1.
Was it D1?
We were on Widow's Court.
Oh, we're on game 9 flawless. And our buddy Camel's dog sprints through the room, tripping the Ethernet cable, ripping it out of his Xbox. He just disappears in game.
And we tried our hardest, but
this must have been like we probably already used our boon or something to that effect. But regardless, like that is an absolutely ridiculous circumstance that nobody wants to lose their flawless to their dog. Like I love my dog. Please don't blow out my Ethernet cable. That would be ridiculous.
But all in all,
Trials back, baby.
Trials back.
Excited about it.
Love it or hate
spend
it.
those tokens because they're
loot.
gonna disappear on the reset going into Tuesday.
Yeah.
So Trials shows up on Friday. Earn your tokens, spend your tokens, do your thing.
They're as long as Zur.
Yep. And then when
Friday
Zur
to
leaves,
Tuesday.
and Tuesday reset, all your tokens are gone too. So
Awesome. And we'll break to number 2.
pros and cons of Season of the Worthy.
What?
Things we like, things that we don't like. Just initial reactions. The stat trackers disappearing is a bad thing, Bungie. No.
The new tracker system is a pro.
It's a great thing, yes. The new tracking system is sick.
Super nice.
The idea that they can like start funneling stats into this thing and then be like, you can use whatever emblem you want. Certain emblems will still likely be locked behind activities, and then you can get that emblem and trick it out how you want. I think it's a better system than before. I just think like the bones that had to break in order to make it freaked a lot of people out, and they're addressing it, so that's good.
I actually really like the legendary lost sectors now. I like the robots and stuff. Super pro.
Oh my goodness.
Super pro.
Probot robot, dude. I totally forgot.
So much fun.
Yeah, summoning that thing and watching it just like tank down a hallway is absolutely awesome. More of this. I think everybody's down. Spawning the Valkyrie in the middle of a lost sector.
Super Valkyrie.
Very cool.
Leveling up that thing and making it just so strong.
Another pro for me personally is the weapon design for the Warmind stuff. I know that there's a little bit of talk. I'm saying whoever recorded the audio for that auto rifle,
sounds really good.
It's very chunky. It's very good.
Very good.
And I know there's a conversation going on around now. This could also fall into the con section, which is that a lot of people are seeing the roles for this season and sort of suggesting they're a little weak. We don't have, I think, almost any combinations of like a fast reload perk and damage. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So your classic Outlaw Rampage doesn't exist on a single primary this season, which is odd.
There's more niche roles. They put overflow on a few weapons.
There's a hand cannon with overflow, I believe.
Cool. I think there's a one more. They put even like firing line on the machine gun.
Yep. Fourth time's the charm on an auto rifle.
You just gotta put your reload behind your stat stuff.
Exactly, and that's something that I feel like we might take another video to chat about. But going for like the off god roll, where instead of getting Outlaw Rampage,
demigod.
Oh, okay, I like that. No, that's better. That's better. Demigod roll. So it's not the god roll, but it's like the god's buddy.
Yeah, he does the god's bit.
Okay. Anyway, getting something like Drop Mag with Zen Moment Rampage, which gives you good stability, good reload, and a damage perk, is similar to Ricochet rounds Outlaw Rampage.
You're just switching.
Right? You're just switching where you're getting your stability and where you're getting your reload. Now, it's not a bad roll. It's a demigod roll. I like that. Okay, I can dig that. We'll do a whole video about demigod rolls, honestly, because I feel like there's too much concern with Feeding Frenzy Rampage. I need it, or it's not good, and I disagree wholeheartedly.
Talking about the gun rolls, we can have one con is They added Dire Promise. They added like a new grenade launcher with interference.
There's a lot of stuff added to.
And there's no way to get it other than turning in legendary
Zero
shards
agency for...
Or just playing the game a lot.
It seems like more than half of the weapons that are available, like, right on launch.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know with these seasons, they like to kind of trickle in weapons week to week, just to keep you interested. They did it with, like, Black Armory. You know, you got a few guns, and you waited a week, more guns came. But right now, the majority of weapons that we have access to, which the new ones are inside the loot pool, like all the faction guns, a couple of the
pretty sweet guns. I like bringing it back.
But it's like dang, like you're not getting a Dire Promise roll for a year. I'm not joking. It took me over a year to see the perk combination Outlaw Rampage on a Go figure. Like that's rough, and I play the game all the time. So like I'll just like there's no agency for trying to get that gun and the roll you want on it. So definitely
that comes with you got new guns,
con.
Some cool rolls, but and then there's some guns you just don't get to roll all that much.
On that ticket, I think just in general we need to figure out something to do with the current open world loot pool to allow some sort of intentionality getting a gun.
And vendors like Zavala and Shax, just nothing being added to them is a little rough, man.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
just been stale. What are you doing with those tokens?
It's been said before, but Eververse is stocked with a bunch of new items, and there's a lot of vendors that didn't get anything, which I just think is sort of like it's just sort of crappy. Like, what if obviously a lot of the rolls that came are from factions, but just like, bear with me, Old Fashioned isn't, right? What if Old Fashioned was added to the Vanguard loot pool, and for the season it was released, they had a curated version that was sitting purchasable at Zavala?
Remember like Toil and Trouble?
Yeah, well, I was really hoping that would be something that they stuck with, that each vendor had like a version, and it's not like D1, which was awesome, where every week all of the tower guns that were for sale would swap their rolls.
Running to the different factions was so much fun to check out the rolls.
It was a fun ritual moment for Destiny 1 players to go see those rolls. And I would even accept like one good roll curated for the season, and then just do that. I mean, and you don't even have to make new guns. You just have to like be like, what's a great roll on
Remember
this?
that Bygones Gambit had? That was like a great PvP
It's
roll.
A very good roll, and I
still
see people using
that.
it. Yes, absolutely.
I kept it for a very long time.
Buy 1,000 Bygones looking for the perfect roll.
Yeah, and they could have grabbed like a really very good service.
Some people did that.
I never got the good one. Then I tell Jedi, and he goes, "Okay, next." Wait, what? You already got it.
RNG is weird.
Slide.
The slide is the best part of the game right now.
Yep.
I will try. This is the current goal, and I want to.
Chutes and ladders.
This is if you can manage this. You're trying to get to the back wall behind the Rasputin computer coming down.
Sliding right under it.
You have to slide under it and die to the back wall. Try it. It's very, very fun. Yeah. That's my current mini game.
It is fun.
I thoroughly enjoy it.
I did a jump too where I hit my Sparrow into the hole, and I almost made it all the way to the bottom without touching it. That's pretty cool.
Send us your favorite clips because I'd like to see them.
Comment on some funny, goofy stuff you found in the new season.
Let's talk about some tips and tricks, kind of moving into
Number three.
Things that you should know going into Season of the Worthy, things that will help. The main goal of the season, it appears, is that the bunkers are very similar to the obelisks from last season. And what that means is you visit your bunker, there's going to be a bunch of different things to rank up, so many bounties. It's a little overwhelming, to be completely honest.
It looks really cool. I like the old school, arcadey style stuff, but it's a little overwhelming.
Yep, and there's 2 nodes of upgrades. The main one that's just EDZ bunker upgrades. It's basically a grid of things that will help your experiences going through the legendary lost sectors, bunker busting, which is every day your bunker is invaded and you can't do anything with it until you've cleared it out. So these upgrades help with that, as well as the EDZ public event, which has different mechanics that you can use through the bunker upgrades.
Yeah.
The most important tip that I'm going to give to everybody is Down the right side is a cost efficiency.
Yes.
It will
on
lower
the upgrades.
Yeah, on the upgrades there is a cost and efficiency 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 3 both reduce the costs
of the bits.
Every upgrade purchase. The bits, which are the fractaline of this season.
Yep, exactly.
The material that you're collecting a bunch of and utilizing to upgrade. Exactly.
And the whole process of finishing off a bunker is you're getting the track 1, track 2, and track 3 completely upgraded, and you have upgraded the bunker fully. And that's what our whole thing is, getting them all done. We have 3 of them, and then you get achievement for each of them and achievement for doing all of them. And the best track, like you said, is on that right side to make it cost less. Yep. There's another one on I'm pretty sure it's the second track where it makes it where you get more bits from strikes and crucible and gambit.
Yep.
Very, very good.
I would highly suggest before you spend bits, is just go through them. There's maybe 20 of them. Just read them. The ones that lower the price, the ones that make bit acquisition easier. Some of them allow you to get the encrypted blue bits back.
Yes.
If you open chests on the EDZ, so you spend the key to open the chest, and then it will give you your key.
You need those blues back for the weeklies.
Yes.
You're going to want to get those weeklies done because they're worth like 100 bits, I think it is.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Good stuff. It's good stuff.
So with that being said, that is a really important thing to just know going in. Just remember to back out to the main screen right as you talk to him, and on the very bottom it's like rank 1, rank 2, rank 3. You got to click on it, and it will give you your reward once you've ranked it so far.
I think we'll go into the public events. Some really good tips and tricks. It's fun. It's a little bit more interactive. It seems to be longer, but it's just because you're not doing it right.
That's true. It lasts for 7 minutes, but you can finish that 7 minutes early if you know what you're doing. And then the boss fight is instant. You'll kill them very, very fast. Let's kind of go piece by piece with it. In the public event, the goal is to keep whichever tower is of the 3 towers
that has
around
risen
the main,
out of the ground.
To keep that main plate
square
completely clear of enemies. Now, what happens is the tower will puke up a bunch of balls to throw at the node that will move towards the center. It will only create 2 if any ad is left roaming the actual square.
It'll beep at you too. It'll
I'm pretty sure Anna Bray is all over. They're all over the plate there.
I can't give you any energy on a plate.
So if you see the tower will start to glow to indicate that it's going to send out all those orbs. If you see that it's about to spew the orbs out,
go
and
bananas.
Make sure that the thing is clear, because even if the last ad dies a half second before it's about to
takes
release
a foot onto the plate,
as soon as it dies and it's clear, it will immediately spit out all 7 of the orbs, which is enough to get the node all the way to the center if you hit all 7.
Exactly. 7 pop out. Bungie's favorite number, 7 pop out when there's no on there. And your big part of it is it's a streamline, right? It's going from the place that you're at, like baseball diamond, right? It's going from the place you're at to the middle. Line it up. Because a lot of time people are hitting it at different times, and it's moving across. And if you're on the side, you can whiff that so easy.
I whiff.
Line it up, go behind it or in front of it, and line it up and smack it. If you get all 7, you make it from point A to point B, and you're moving on to the next one.
With that being said, if for some reason it doesn't go perfectly, and you have to create a second set of orbs in order to get the node there, you can save those orbs and bring them to the next tower.
Exactly.
Give yourself a little bit of an advantage going into it. So the moment the next tower shows up, you can start hooking all the extra orbs that you haven't used yet.
Exactly.
And that's the basic goal. I find that support supers like Well of Radiance and Bubble and Tether, they're all very good, but I would suggest roaming supers to clear ads.
Push them back.
They're far more effective at clearing the plate and making sure you get your 7 orbs.
And zoning stuff. Anarchy. Boom, boom. They can't get through there no more. I was using tractor cannon because you can push a big guy off of your plate even if he's not dead yet.
Absolutely. Even if he's not dead, you can push them out of there. Makes a great deal of difference. Makes the whole public event easier. I think you need to do it 7 times.
I think that's... they love 7.
Do they?
It might be.
Do they use the number 7 a lot?
It goes 14% every time. Carry the 7 and 7. Yep, 7 times.
It's 7 times. So if you complete it 7 times, then 2 champions will spawn. Mm-hmm. They're either Overload or Anti-Barrier. They will not spawn Unstoppables.
If this happens, switch to a gun that has one of the things.
Please.
That captain will make your life a nightmare.
I love it when captains infinitely teleport around the area and I can barely keep track of them. It's my favorite. Please put Overload on your auto rifle.
Yes. There's another node in the artifact. It's on the 4th slot. It makes your arc grenades disrupt. Insanely good against those Overload
Very powerful.
guys.
Similarly, you can apply a seasonal mod from the artifact to your sword. So in continuous sword hits will overload or use the overload buff.
It just stops them. You get to do some actual damage because they're constantly healing and moving, and it's just their health's going nowhere. So you need to stop them. You need to beat them up.
And you only have a minute and a half to do it.
Yeah, you got to move.
You have to definitely immediately be like, they're dropping in here and they're dropping in here. Mm-hmm. Kill the one in the water first, and then we'll all meet at this back one. Mm-hmm. If it's just you and you're doing it solo, then I would say it's a necessity to keep at least an anti-barrier and an overload weapon ready to go.
The servitors, they are so annoying, right? And what we have for anti-barrier is submachine guns and sidearms, so you got to be up close, and they protect the guys. And so those guys kick your butt. And it's really rough.
Yep.
Ariana's Vow from Season of Undying is insane.
Yes, it's one of the few special weapons that has
amazing.
These. So if you want to run Ariana's Vow and Divinity, if you have it, the raid exotic from Garden of Salvation, it has Overload on it, and then Ariana's has anti-barrier, and that way you're using a special weapon that's decent and good for whatever you need to do. But then you also have what you need in order to be successful. And jumping off of that, bunker busting or legendary lost sectors, bring a weapon that has Overload or anti-barrier on it. I have not run into a situation where an Unstoppable was in there. The Lost Sector.
Yeah. So they switch them up. One was Overloads and anti-barriers, and then the last one we saw was Cabal with the anti-barrier and Unstoppable.
And Unstoppable, sure. So just be aware that having those with you is it's not just good. It's a necessity for success. If you can't break that shield, they just do things.
Thank God you can respond.
That are too strong.
That's all I can say. Thank God you can respond.
In the legendary lost sectors, that was a good addition. We actually managed a sub 2-minute run of a legendary lost sector. So super fun. It went from 6-7 minutes, and we have it down below 2.
Yeah.
And we were speed running to collect bits, and we were also helping a friend complete some of the weekly bounties. Yeah. So yeah, the better you get, the more used to it you get. It just becomes more fun, in my opinion.
I mean, when you start bringing out those big robots and start throwing some Valkyries around, get those upgrades.
Get those upgrades in the bunker that lets you spawn the giant robots.
Infinitely. They detonate and explode and wheel everything. Well, I think that does it for our tips and tricks, and that will wrap up our...
I don't have any more tips for you. How about next week? We'll tentatively update you on what's going on.
It's going to get tougher. We're going to probably get another bunker here, I can only imagine.
Yeah, no, my understanding is Tuesday. I don't know if it's Io or the Moon, but it's on the roadmap.
We'll figure it out.
We're going to get another bunker. Mm-hmm. We got stuff to do next week. We're super excited for Trials.
We'll give you the rundown because it's coming on Monday, and we'll have our first
we'll have a good
experience.
Go at it. Should be a good time.
And I think that's going to end it for the Pizza Party Podcast.
Pizza Party Podcast.
Pizza Party Podcast. I said it.
No.
I said it.
We're not doing that on the show.
Don't forget to slam that like button.
Yep, and ding that bell if you want to make sure you get notifications from us. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. Honestly, sharing really helps us.
Twitter, Facebook.
If you know someone that likes Destiny and wants a quick rundown of what's going on each week, we're your guys. All the links will be down in the description, so you can come find us.
You little chicken. Tweet, 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 tweet. No.
What? What is he talking about? I don't even know what he's talking about.
All right, this is going on too much. Shut her down.
Please end it for us. We don't know what we're doing.
Cut it off.
We could ramble like this forever, but...
Get me out of here. See you later.
Thank you. You guys rock. Yes.
That was
Pizza.
That
Bro,
was awesome.
do you want to open it like with a hey, hello?
Yeah, I can be like a hello, fellow guardians.
No.
Hello, fellow guardians. You're back. Or we're back. We're back.
Try again.
We're all back. I see that the levels are going and the time is going up.
Oh, that's good.
I think that's right.
Bug section.
Whatcha? Back to the jam. How's it going, Pat? Looking great, or is it tilted still?
Dude, I don't even know. I don't know if I'm just going crazy or like.
We're all going a little crazy.
Well, that's just a definite. Skyrim, now on your Zune.
I just, with that game. I made a point, you made a point, I made a point, you made a point.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, I was thinking in my head, you want to talk about Gambit?
The miserable water. That didn't work.
Okay. That was probably way too loud.
We'll figure it out.
Cut that part out.
Cut all that
what
stuff
are we at
out.
for time? So yeah, make sure to like us on hold on, I'm failing off here. Let's try again.
MySpace.
MySpace.com/
eBombs World.
What's another dead website? But no, follow us on Twitter at Destiny
Pizza.
Follow us on Twitter at the Pizza Party News.
It's not even that. We don't even know our own Twitter. We haven't tweeted at all yet, so we need friends to tweet at.
Yeah.
That could be you.
Bye.